All right, let's talk about one of the most important parts of speaking English, asking questions. I mean, think about it. When you get it right, you sound clear, confident, and fluent. But when you get it wrong, things can get a little awkward or confusing. The good news, there's a system to it, and today we are going to break it all down. So take a look at this. On the left, where's the bathroom? Short, sweet, to the point. On the right, could you tell me where the bathroom is? A little longer, definitely more formal. Both of these questions will get you to the exact same place, but knowing which one to use is all about understanding the context of the situation. And that's really the big puzzle we're going to solve today. Why are they structured so differently? And more importantly, how do you know when to use which one? Stick with me, because by the time we're done here, you are going to have a super clear roadmap for getting this right every single time. To really get this, we need to start with the foundation. And it turns out, pretty much every question you can ask in English is built on one of two main pillars. You're either trying to confirm something you think you know, or you're trying to gather brand new information. That's it. So these are our two pillars. On one side, you've got yes/no questions. Think of these like a light switch. They're either on or off, yes or no. Their only job is to confirm or deny something. Then you have WH questions. These are more like a fishing net. You cast them out to gather new details. Who, what, where, when, why. They pull in the specifics you're looking for. So let's start with that first pillar, the simple yes/no question. The secret to building them correctly is this one powerful little trick called inversion. And to really master inversion, we need to know about our most important tool for the job. And that tool is the auxiliary verb. The easiest way to think about these are as helping verbs. Words like do, be, can, or will are the little engines that make our questions work. By themselves, they don't mean much, but they are absolutely essential for helping the main verb form a proper question. Okay, so check out how simple this formula is. A regular statement is, you like pizza. You have the subject, then the verb. To make it a question, we just do that inversion we talked about. We grab a helping verb, in this case, do, and we move it to the very front. The new order is auxiliary, subject, main verb. Do you like pizza? It's just a simple swap. Now, in the simple present tense, your two most common helpers are do and does, and the rule here is really straightforward. For he, she, or it, you're going to use does. For everybody else, I, you, we, they, you use do. So it's do you like pizza, but does he play soccer? And the best part is, this inversion rule is super consistent. If your main verb is to be, it just moves to the front. Are you ready? If you're asking about the past, you use did. Did they finish? And for modal verbs like can or will, guess what? They also jump to the front. Can you swim? It's the same pattern over and over, just with different helpers. Okay, pillar one is down. We've totally nailed how to confirm information. Now let's move on to our second pillar, gathering new information. And I've got great news. We're just going to use the exact same formula we just learned, but we're going to add one simple ingredient right at the beginning. And here is a fantastic little acronym to help you remember it forever. QWASM. This is basically the master key to asking almost any information question. It stands for question word, auxiliary, subject, main verb. But wait a second. Look at that. The ASM part is the exact same structure we just mastered for yes/no questions. See, you already know how to do this. So that Q in QWASM comes from this toolkit right here. Each of these words is a special tool designed to get a specific type of information. You need to know about a person, use who. A place, use where. A reason, use why. You just pick the tool you need for the job. Where, Q, do, A, U, S, live, M. It just works. All right, so we've got the mechanical rules down cold. But, language isn't just a bunch of formulas. It's about how we interact with other people. And this brings us right back to our original puzzle, the difference between direct and indirect questions. This isn't really about grammar. It's about politeness. Think of indirect questions as a social tool. You use them to soften your request, to sound a little more formal, a little more polite. They are perfect for when you're talking to a stranger or your boss or anyone in a more professional situation. It's not just about what you say. It's about how you say it. It's about showing respect. And the absolute easiest way to signal that you're being polite is to start your question with one of these phrases. Instead of just jumping right in, you add a little buffer, like, could you tell me? Or,
I was wondering, these phrases are like magic. They instantly change the entire tone of the conversation.
Okay, now this is the most important rule for indirect questions, so pay close attention. After your polite opening phrase, the rest of the sentence actually snaps back into a normal statement structure. Look at the word order here. The direct question says, is Market Street? The verb is inverted. But the indirect question says, where Market Street is. It goes back to normal statement order. You drop the inversion. This is the key difference.
So what about our yes/no questions? How do we make them more polite? Well, the trick is even easier. You just add one little word, if. So instead of asking directly, does Tom like Italian food, you soften it. Do you know if Tom likes Italian food? That tiny word makes all the difference in the world.
Now, how about a quick pro tip? We've been saying that inversion is for questions, right? Well, English loves to break its own rules sometimes, especially for dramatic effect. In more formal or literary English, you'll sometimes see inversion used in a statement, just to add a little bit of power and flair.
Take a look at this. The normal way to say this is, I have never been so happy to see someone. But by taking a negative word like never and pulling it to the front of the sentence, the writer gets to use that inversion trick to create a much more dramatic feeling. Never have I been. It's the same meaning, but wow, it has so much more impact. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. To make sure all of this really sticks, let's wrap up with a quick checklist of the most common mistakes that people make. If you can just avoid these 3 little pitfalls, you are going to be asking questions like a native speaker. First up, forgetting the auxiliary verb. You can't just take a statement like, you want something, and stick a what on the front. It doesn't work. You have to remember to put that little helper verb in there. It has to be, what do you want?
Mistake number 2, the double S. Remember, the helper verb does is already doing all the heavy lifting. It has the S on it for the third person. That means the main verb gets to relax and just go back to its original base form. So it's not what does she likes, it's what does she like.
And finally, always remember that the verb to be is special. It's kind of like its own auxiliary verb. It never needs do or does to help it out. If you have is or are as your main verb, it's strong enough to just move to the front all by itself. Not where does she is, but simply where is she.
And there you have it. From the 2 basic pillars, to the social rules of politeness, all the way to the common mistakes to avoid. You now have the complete toolkit for asking clear, correct, and confident questions in just about any situation. So I guess the only question left to ask is, what's the first thing you want to find out?